Am I on yet? Are we on? Are we on? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Do you feel it now, Mr. Krabs? What's going on, girlies and gamers? How are we today? We got another chapter of Dandadan. The last one for 2 weeks. We've got a 1 week hiatus, guys. We've got a 1 week hiatus, and we're just going to have to buckle up. We're going to have to buckle up for that one, sunshine. Let me tell you. But don't worry, guys. Guys, I've already got an idea about what we're doing next week, so don't worry about it. Don't stress about it. Calm down. Calm down. All right, we're good. We're good. Hi, guys. Hi, guys. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Nice to see so many familiar faces, as usual. What's going on, everybody? I know, guys. We had a chapter. And it was weird. It was good, but weird, right? Let me just actually pull that chapter on up so that everybody's... I mean, like, look. We've got a new meme out of it. And that's really what matters here, isn't it? Isn't it? The Kinta here meme. What kind of haircut is he gonna get? Yeah, I'm exactly on time. The rest of you were just too early. The rest of you were just too early here. That's the problem. You know? But it's good to see so many of the same faces and new faces and everything, guys. It's great to see everybody. Low taper fade. Yeah, very well could. Very well could. Man, there's a lot to get into with this, just generally speaking. There's a lot to get into with it. And for those of you who aren't familiar with the format or who are possibly new around here, I just will go through the chapter on my other monitor. You guys won't be able to see it apart from a few instances where I share my screen. And we'll cover what's going on in the chapter, where Dandadan is, what the character interactions might mean, and everything like that. So I'm excited for that. Hi, Natalia. Hi. Hi, everybody. So, yeah, let's just get into it, I guess. I mean... yeah, no, jealousy, I think, is the core theme of where we're at right now. And look, you know, people hated it last week. Some people hated it. A couple of people hated it. Maybe one person hated it last week. But I did say that it feels like at this point, it feels like Okurun is on a date with Aira. That's kind of what this is at the moment, right? And it shouldn't be, right? It doesn't need to be, right? But this is good. This is a good sign. My point is, this is a good sign. And I know what it feels like. It feels like every single week when something doesn't go our way, we have to double down, all right? And now we do have to double down, right? Because we've come this far, and I believe in it, and you believe in it, we believe in it, right? But this is actually a very important thing. This actually gives me faith. The fact that we're focusing on this, the fact that we're... no, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. The fact that we're focusing on this now, right? The fact that we are looking at this now, we're looking at the relationship dynamics between Momo and Gigi and Okurun and Aira, to me is a good thing. Because these are some lingering things that have been around for a little while now that nobody has dealt with. They're unspoken. Or undealt with anyway by Momo and Okurun, and forcing it into the forefront is important, you know? No, I am absolutely not doing that, Shannon. What the hell? I don't model my life after Kinta, alright? I could not. To live in the shadow of a god. Yeah, it's important to have this therapy session once a week, Nachan. It's very important for us. My point is, guys, that this is a very, in my opinion, this is a crucial crossroads for them. It's also, right, and I know that we talk about this all the time, but I'm a firm believer. Ever since it was unveiled that Momo had lost her memory, spoiler alert, guys, by the way, the moment that Momo was shown to have lost her memories, from that first stream, you can go back. I stand on it. I stand on business with what I said back then, right? That this is a great opportunity for us to go back through essentially the greatest hits and do it all again, speedrun it essentially, and prove that it was always more than just circumstance for these two. It wasn't just this thing that just occurred because they had powers and they were on the run together and they had to work together and that pushed them together. We get to see together that they can grow into what they were before, even without the powers, right? And even with other things pulling them apart, there is an evidence in the fact that these two are meant to be pulled together. And I think that this is also part of that. We had to go through those motions of jealousy before in the Serpo arc between Okurun, well, Momo's jealousy of Okurun in regards to Aira, and we also had to do this with the Cursed House arc in regards to Okurun's jealousy over Momo concerning Gigi. These are important things that they had to get through, and it's through working through these things that they were able to get closer. Okurun was able to realize what it meant to be a man, what it meant to be worth Momo's time in the first place by not lying to her. Now that is the crux of his problem here with Momo. Again, is the fact that he lied. He said that he didn't want to go on a date with her, despite the fact that he did say that. He was joking about it. He wasn't joking about it, and he lied when he said that he was. And as a consequence of that, they're on a group date, right? Which is a whole other thing. Which is a whole thing. But in the Serpo arc, he lied to Momo. He lied to her about the fact that he was getting buff in secret, right? This lie was not something that Momo appreciated. She doesn't care about whether he's strong or not. She cares about all the traits about him that she cares about. That he's honest, that he's earnest, that he's a fighter, but that he cares about her. That he respects her enough to not go behind her back, even if it is to impress her, because it's superficial and it means nothing. And in the Serpo arc, they overcame that jealousy. They overcame that jealousy by Momo and Okurun in a conflict, especially regarding Aira. Okurun came clean about it, right? He told her that he needs her to listen to him because he cares about her deeply. And he doesn't care if other people get the wrong end of the stick as long as she doesn't, right? Yeah, he got buff in super secret. Yeah, no, exactly. He's woke up with abs, with a 7-pack. I don't know what happened to the eighth pack. But also in the Cursed House arc, Momo, Gigi stands in as the reason for Okurun feeling jealous over Momo. And hi, Janny. Hi, everybody. Deciding that he feels that he is not going to give up in his pursuit of Momo, but also, and he respects himself enough to try. He respects her enough to know that he has to try. But also, it ends with Momo deciding during the lava scene, which might be one of my favorite. It might be my favorite moment in the series. That lava scene was where she realized how she felt about him. That was the moment that Momo Ayase fell in love. If you ask me, someone once said. But my point is that we're going through those motions again here. Just at the same time. It's just all happening at the same time. Hi, support. Hi, everybody. Yeah. One point. But we're doing this at the same time. And as a consequence of all of those things that happened, they were stronger for it. They were closer for it. And they realized all the illusions. That's the point where all the illusions dropped. That's the point where all the illusions dropped in regards to how they feel. And we're going through that again. I think that at the end of this whole thing, they'll be stronger for it. And I also think that at the end of this whole thing, Aira and Gigi maybe aren't going to be told how they feel, how Momo and Okurun feel towards each other. But I do think that we're going to get to a point fairly soon, let's say this year, where Aira and Gigi are going to have to witness it. You know, I don't see any way out of this story arc. Without Momo and Okurun coming together in a really real way, in a confession way. And I think the best way to do that demonstration would be for it to happen in front of everybody, in front of Aira and Gigi, and for that to be their way of discovering it. And they'll have to work through those feelings themselves. I mean, I think the joy for me, the star of this chapter and last chapter, and we'll get into the actual chapter itself in a minute, but the star of the last chapter and this chapter for me has to be Aira, right? What's really cool and really sad is the fact that I don't believe Aira is just like into Okurun for the sake of it anymore. You know, it was originally a bit of a joke at first, but I think like she's genuinely interested in the guy. She's talking about fucking dinosaurs and shit. Like she cares about that shit because he does, but also because she's interested as well. I think that he's changed her taste quite a lot, in the same way that he changed Momo's taste quite a lot. And it's going to be very sad. It's going to be a really hard moment, in my opinion, when Aira has to reckon with the fact that he doesn't feel the same way about her. You know, like if Momo didn't exist, they'd probably be a good couple. And that's fucked up. That makes me really sad. That makes me really sad. Because she doesn't deserve that. You know, she pulled herself out of her old personality, partially because of Okurun, right? So he's kind of a beacon for her of a better life, you know? I don't know. It makes me sad. But, you know, it doesn't mean I'm in on it. Like, I'm obviously Momokurun through and through, but it makes me sad. And I think that's why it works so well. That's why this whole chapter doesn't make me feel like icky because it's Momo and Gigi and then Okurun and Aira, right? Anyway, so they're on their little date, they're on their little group date, but an Aira confession. Maybe, but Okurun would have to turn it down in the same way that, I mean, that could be a nice way of beckoning back to the Vamola thing, right? If he turned her down by telling her that he's in love with Momo. I don't know. I suppose it depends how cyclical Tatsu wants to be with his story. I mean, for me, it's less about the exact things, moment to moment things being recreated, and it's more about the feeling of these things being recreated that matters, you know? Yeah, Mark, this is it. Yeah. I find that her crush has been very sweet as well. Like this is I think that her whole thing at the moment is incredibly sweet. Like she's taking the time to learn more about him and his interests, but not for the sake of just kind of like appealing to him to make herself look appealing. I think she's interested, you know? She's genuinely interested because for Aira, she's always been I suppose an icon of beauty, of perfection, but only for the projected self that she puts out to the world, right? This idealized perfection that she wants people to feel when they look at her, when they talk to her. But none of that is really her. She's actually a very internally interesting person, right? She's got a lot of different things going on. She isn't so sweet and kind and innocent. She actually is aggressive. She's commandeering, right? She swears sometimes, that kind of thing. And I think Okurun, seeing past the superficial and being interested with her, in her as a friend, I think is enough to get past that layer and strike to the heart of who she is, which is sad because it isn't meant to be. Yeah, I mean, in my idealized world, I'm kind of on the same page as you, Support, I think, where it's for me, just the confession being seen is enough to get things moving. I don't need one-to-one kind of letting them down easy kind of things. I think that's too on the nose, perhaps. I don't mind maybe a spur of the moment rejection, maybe, but we'll see. Anyway, they're on the group date. All of them are piled into this little shopping center place. And, you know, this is the date chapter. This is the date chapter, guys. This is what we were promised, you know? Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't see how... Maybe. That would be nice, Blissey. That would be nice. But I think that what matters, really to me, what matters is that all of these guys are friends. All of these guys are friends. They want what is best for each other. And I don't think that this is enough to create any kind of permanent damage. I think that this is just how it is. You know? Yeah. I know, her inner self must be absolutely losing her marbles right now. Right? It's so painful. It's so painful. You know, this is a it's this entire situation. This entire situation is really sweet. I like this kind of thing just generally. I'm not really a slice of life person, but when the characters I care about, when I care about them, I want to see them happy sometimes, because it helps you remember that this is not just fighting. This manga isn't just fighting. It's not just one fight to the next. There are moments in between that remind you what makes it worth it, what these characters mean to each other, and it's just nice to kind of see them happy and doing a thing. But the problem is that there is this underlying subtext to this scene where they're in the when they're in the sweet shop, right? There's this underlying subtext. There's a subtextual element happening here, which is that everybody is kind of with the person they don't want to be with. And I know that sounds bad, but there are walls up. There are tons of walls up. Everybody is putting on this performance, you know? And it's hard to watch because Gigi wants to be with Momo, Aira wants to be with Okurun, and they're kind of together here, but they're not really together because Okurun and Momo kind of want to be together with each other. It's just a painful thing to see subtextually speaking, even if on the absolute kind of like the overlying textual analysis of it is that everybody's really happy at the moment. And I think getting that across in manga is not the easiest thing, right? Because those moments, those flicking, like how getting across this kind of this idea that they're looking at each other just for a second and then they swipe away before they can see each other is like heart-wrenching. It's heart-wrenching to see it. But it's kind of perfect. Like, they're on opposite sides of the store. I mean, look at this. They're on opposite sides of the shop from each other, and there is this barrier in between them right here. You see it? Like, it's the sweets, obviously, but this barrier creates this distance. It creates this absolute distance, because talking over the counter is kind of like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's a bit, especially I imagine in cultures where people are a bit more socially conscious, it's a bit of a taboo kind of thing. You want to be next to each other kind of thing, right? It's kind of it's like a sideways pillar. It's like a sideways pillar. That's what I'm saying, Pickle. All right, I'm describing a sideways pickle, like a picker. No, it's a sideways pillar right there. But it creates this distance between the two groups. Look at him with his little glasses, man. He just wants to talk to her. And why are they pretending, dude? Why are they? I know that we've got like we're gonna do this like chapter by chapter kind of thing, right? But look at them. Why are they pretending? Look at her face, dude. Look at her face here. Who is that for, dude? What are we doing? Why are you pretending, guys? Just fucking... Live chat. Yes, live chat. I always forget. It's crazy that they do that, by the way. It's on live chat now. Thank you. It's crazy, though. Look at them. Look at them. She wants to talk to him. He wants to talk to her. And they can't fucking do it, dude. They can't do it. It's crazy. Oh, they're just there. Sorry, I'm crashing out. It's like, this is brilliant. This is brilliant because of the fact that it's like everybody's saying the pillar thing is getting, yeah, sideways pickle. It has a sideways pickle, all right? Okay. Okay. No, it's painful, man. It's great. But, you know, it's also like... It's also like another thing, again, like I was saying before, by the way, in regards to the cursed house being a kind of like this Gigi and Momo thing from back then, that jealousy for Okurun being conjured now once again and kind of rehashing it out again now that Momo has lost her memory. What we're seeing here is they're also, you know what I mean, like sweets. That was a thing. Snacks were a thing between the two of them before. Okurun on the train, he was kind of outside of this familiarity between the two of them, and this is one of the talking points that they had, right? Do you know what I mean? Yes, fake. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, leave me alone. Why is everybody being mean? No. Chap, cat piss. No, okay, yeah, on a shirt. Next. You know what I mean? Thinking of his nut. Exactly, dude. Exactly. Like, it's heartbreaking. It's really sad. You know? Oh, the I don't give a fuck. Yeah. No, yeah, you're right. It's so... We'll get to that. We'll get to that. I'm getting ahead of myself here because I'm crashing out. Right? I'm crashing out, alright? I'm getting ahead of myself. But my point is that a lot of these kind of shapes of the same things are kind of showing up here, you know? It's interesting. It's very interesting that we're doing this, I think. And one of the things that I kind of presumed that they were going to do when we got the memory loss Momo kind of thing happen, and we spoke about this in previous streams, guys, but we kind of had this presumption that there would be a little bit of jealousy conjured. They don't really remember. Well, she doesn't remember who he is, and there is this. They just can't talk about what they feel because of the walls that she's got back up again. Breaking down those walls, they had to power through that jealousy. They had to power through that insecurity between the two of them in order to become closer. You know? Yearn maxing. Exactly, Pickle. Word of the month. Yearn maxing. And here we are. Do you know what I mean? Like, they have to power through that again in order to come out the other side of it stronger and closer. And I think that whatever fight is about to occur, Momo and Okurun are going to need to come together to help each other. To get closer to each other and to be honest with each other. I know, I feel really bad for Aira. She's putting her effort into this. She's putting herself into this. Like she genuinely is trying here to make it work. And it's sweet. She just wants to spend time with him. No, I hope that they don't fight over her exactly, but they did do it before, so who knows. Gigi is oblivious. Gigi is an oblivious guy. He has no idea what's happening here. You know, I also don't know. I don't know really that Gigi would that he would behave too. I think it would be kind of messed up for Gigi to take advantage of this situation, is my point. I don't know that he would. I don't think that he would. But it's like, she's lost her memory, bro. What we doing here? Like, you know what I mean? He hasn't done anything wrong. For the record, he hasn't done anything wrong. I'm just saying, if that is the direction that we want to take this, it's like, now is not the time for it, my dude. Right? Now's not the time for it. You know? Also, there's a volcano in the background of the dinosaurs thing, which kind of makes me think of the Cursed House arc. But maybe I'm looking too much into that. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I think that we are gonna get, goes for a decide. I mean, I don't know, maybe. I think that what's gonna happen, and by the end of this chapter we see it. But Momo and Gigi are split up together. Okrun and Aira are split up together. Vamola and Kinta are split up together. Kinta has powers because he has his nano skin. Aira has powers because she has Acrosilky, and Gigi has the evil eye. So I feel like we're going to get into a fight, one powered, one depowered, kind of like a tag team kind of thing going on, you know? You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't think that Gigi would do that either. Like, if it was written to be that way, I think that would be a bit much. But they are going to get into a fight because of the fact, and they're paired up separately, right? And it is interesting as well because, like, you're going to see, again, another thing worth highlighting. Another thing worth highlighting is that, sorry, there are a lot of comments. I'm going through them. I'll get back to them. But another thing that's interesting is the fact that in Dandadan, and this is something that I've always kind of held as a core belief about the series, these interpersonal conflicts, these interpersonal relationships, how people feel about each other comes out in the fighting, right? The fight scenes typically are expressions of character conflict, and through that resolution as well. In that previous fight with Momo and Okrun, we got to see the fact that they still work well together. That's number one. The fact that they are a team regardless of everything. And even without powers, they're able to think on their feet, come together, and defeat the enemy. Right? Like, this is two normal people who were able to defeat a yokai, essentially. Or a cryptid of some sort, right? So, they were able to work together to do that. Right? Was it a cryptid or was it an alien? Doesn't really matter. It was a mummy. Anyway, they were able to demonstrate that they still work well together. And at the beginning of that fight, Okrun told her how he felt before it happened. You know? And she didn't believe in aliens. That's the main thing as well. And by the end of the fight, not only does she believe in aliens now, which is showing that she's kind of stepped over into this other world, right? This unknown world, into the fray, right? But also, it demonstrates, especially the way that they ended up together with him walking home with her in piggyback, that dynamic is still there. Do you know what I mean? Like, even though they weren't getting on properly at first, that dynamic is still there. And that is best signified and reflected in the fact that he was carrying her in piggyback. Right? Like, that is how they always would work. That's how they always would work in a fight. And seeing the echoes of that in that scene, the echoes of it in that scene, in my opinion, means a lot, because it shows that through that fight, they've shown they can rely on each other, and that deep down, that dynamic is still in there, you know? And this goes all the way back across so much of Dandadan, right? So much of it is a demonstration of character conflict. That's the way that, in my opinion, that's the best way that you can do any of these fights, of any fights, right? Like in anything, and it's to me, in my opinion, that's always been one of the strengths of the series. So seeing Gigi and Momo, basically the pairings, right? Seeing these love triangle pairings, love square pairings, whatever, seeing these actually expressed in combat is going to be really interesting, because what we're going to see is how well do they work together as the two of them. Like do they work together really, really well? I don't know. I'm interested to see the direction that we take it and how that's going to impact the relationships between these two character sets after the fact. Also, Vamola and Kinta, I'm very curious to see the two of them fighting together, because I'm kind of like, I don't really mind that pairing at this point, right? Or is it Nanozilla? I don't mind Nanozilla, alright? I'm not against Nanozilla. I think Kinta kind of needs to display a bit more value, in my opinion. He's kind of been a bit wishy-washy. He's kind of self-centered in any of his relationships, but I'm not against it. I'm not against it. Well, this is the thing, Medley. Like, I'm curious what we're going to see happen here, right? Like, are Momo and Gigi really going to be able to work together properly? Is Gigi going to be able to focus on swapping out of the evil eye when he's got to look after Momo, who doesn't have any powers? Is Aira... well, I imagine that Aira and Okarun are going to perform okay together. They have in the past. But will Okarun want to think about looking for Momo? I mean, like, for him, he knows that Momo doesn't have any powers, and he feels very strongly that he needs to protect her. So is he going to be focusing on the fight or want to go look for Momo? I don't know. I'm curious about how this is going to go down, to be honest. I think that we're going to see something really interesting. And I think that it's going to be really important in seeing how the characters work together. And I think above all, what we need to see above all is Momo and Okarun come together, work together, and to break through that barrier again. Okarun needs to come clean about the fact that he did ask her to go on a date with him, and he did mean it, right? Like, rewind a little bit, guys. I'm sorry I'm not responding to the questions. I've just got a lot of things I want to say. All right, I'm sorry. Rewind a little bit to when Okarun first told Momo that he wanted to go on a date with her. The first time he asked her on a date, we were really proud of him because, not because of the way that he said it necessarily, well, at least we came to the conclusion that that wasn't necessarily the best way to do it after that chapter. But when it first happened, we were just proud of him for getting his feelings out there, right? For him being honest. That honesty is something that for Okarun was really an instrumental part of his development, was deciding that he had to be honest with her, that him lying to her was taking away from his ability to get to know her, for her to actually care about him, because it was disingenuous, and Momo cares about genuine people. And it kind of felt like he was falling back into some really bad behaviors because of the situation that he was in. When, like, that's the risk anyway, right? Is that he falls into these incorrect behavioral patterns because of who he is now versus who he was then. I think for Okarun, it's not just about, at least in my opinion, it's not just about how much he's changed as a person, because Momo was interested in him before he changed into who he is now. It's not about how much he's changed as a person, it's about how much he stayed the same, right? Like, it matters that he's still that dork at his heart. It matters that he still cares about all of this stuff. It matters that he doesn't necessarily know what the right thing to say is in every situation. Lying is not him. Being honest is. And that's what connected them originally. In the same way that he kind of accepted who he was before in the fight against Hase, I think that this matters as well. You know? I see we're talking about Kinta. Yeah, I mean, like, I think the problem is that Kinta, for me anyway, I think Kinta is incredibly self-aware in the fact that he is very much aware of himself, right? In all situations. You know what I mean? Like it's like, oh, how does this impact me? What does everybody think of me? These aren't friendship groups that I'm part of. It's how are each of these people impacting me in this situation. And I hope that that is something that maybe he can learn to circumvent a little bit, you know, because people clearly care about him enough to bring him on the date, but mainly Vamola. But I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I mean, it's nice to see other relationships happening in the background a little bit, to be honest. But I'm like, I really wish there wasn't a hiatus next week. I really wish there was no hiatus next week, because I would love to see what happens next, you know? But anyway, right, where were we? They're in the shop. Yeah, they're in the shop. We're 35 minutes in and we're only just on page 2. They're in the shop, and they're gonna get some penny candy. And yeah, I mean the conversation that where Momo and Gigi are off and standard pace. Hey, no. The conversation that they're having in the shop, it does feel like a retread. It does feel like a retread of it feels like a retread of the conversation that they had in the train, where Okurun felt sidelined and disenfranchised from the conversation, because they're talking about it in a nostalgic capacity. They're talking about something that, when you kind of like in a group of people and you don't know them but everybody knows each other, and they start talking about stuff that they all know collectively as a group, and it's kind of like, well, I can't really chime in because I did not experience your childhood with you, you know? That is a shared memory that you two share. It's kind of like that. Like they're talking about back in the day and how nostalgic it is to be in a shop like this. To me, that screams the same conversation that they had back then. And I think that for Tatsu, he wrote that he has to have written that with the intention of conjuring that same idea up. And I can't help but feel that he really is doing a lot of recalling to the past stuff, in the same way that he did with a bunch of the other scenes that we've seen throughout this arc, which is part of what I love about this arc, is how much it leans on its own legacy right now as a series. And it's quite painful in a way, because it's like, we have done this before. We've kind of done this before, but like, I also really, like, for me, Dandadan was at its absolute peak when we were doing this stuff for the first time. So I'm fine with doing it again, at least just once, right? And I think at the end, covering the beginning is really sweet, in my opinion, right? It's I don't know, it feels right. It feels like one last kind of hurrah. And I think that at the end, I genuinely believe at the end of this arc, we're going to get something, their relationship is going to advance. You know, like properly advance. An encore. I like that, Hoops. An encore, exactly. It feels like that. And I'm fine with that. I'm enjoying that. You know? But anyway, while Okurun, it feels like they're playing tennis or something here, because it's back and forth jealousy, right? Okurun seeing this, the two of them get on really well, is making him jealous. I mean, look at that. Look at this. This feels like when she was laughing at his joke in the train, doesn't it? Doesn't it feel like that? In fact, what did that look like? What did that look like? Chat, what did that look like? What chapter do you think it was? Probably 31, right? Nah, it's 32. Ah! God damn it. It hurts all over again. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of got this energy to it. You know? Man, the art style is crazy different. Isn't the art style crazy different, though? What the hell? Oh no. Maybe it's just it looks stretched out maybe on my screen. I don't know, but it kind of has this vibe to it, doesn't it? So sad, dude. Ugh, can't cope, can't cope, can't cope. Anyway, he's jealous, obviously. Yeah, Okurun is more confident, but he's also socially bound here, right? Like, yeah, exactly. Like he's socially bound here, where it's like he can't. And this is the thing about Momo and Okurun's relationship, generally speaking. It's never really been able to thrive in these conditions, in social conditions. They've always sort of worked and gotten closer when they're away from everybody else. And that's a problem because the friends group is there, it's established, and everybody is involved in everybody else's business now. Before it was Momo and Okurun against the world. And then Aira was there, then Gigi was there, but that core crux was always Momo and Okurun. But now everybody else is there from the get-go, so it introduces some unique challenges to this kind of way around it, right? It's hard for him to steal away time with just him and Momo when Momo is not seeking it, you know? Like, Miko and Muko doing what they did, huge props, right? Huge props, right? Those girls deserve a national holiday. But, yeah, we'll get to Momo's jealousy in a minute, because that is like, you know what I mean? Like for Okurun, it's like he's watching something. It feels like Okurun is watching her slip away, or the opportunity to be back how they were slip away. But for Momo, it's much more confusing than that, because she feels similarly, but she feels that way about a guy that she does not think she should feel that toward. So that's confusing. That's very confusing. And she's a closed off person, man. Like, Okurun is here. Okurun is here right now with all of his development, right? Every single good thing that she ever brought into this guy's life, into this little dweeb's life, right? Every good thing that she ever brought into his life is still there. Do you know what I mean? He is still the product of everything that she brought into his life. Whereas she is reduced so significantly. So it's harder for her. Because she's got to get through all of that progress again. She's got to push through all of that again, right? You know? That's very good. I like that, Nachan. Please explain more about that on the community Discord. Best place on the internet for Dandadan, if you didn't know. I don't know if you guys have heard about that. Patreon link in the description. Join as a free member on my Patreon to get access to the Discord. It's the best place on the internet for Dandadan. We talk about Dandadan all the time, and every week we discuss the new chapter as it comes out. So be there. I am. I was the first person there, actually. So you can take it from me. Anyway, yeah, and we've also I've kind of like lost track of where I'm at with merchandise. It's been a bit of a start to the year, but I'll get to that. All right, I'll get to that in the BG set. The what? Oh, in the background, you mean? Yeah, it's pretty sick. Pretty sick. I actually tidied up the whole room. You know, I tidied up the whole room today, and I've completely restacked the shelves. It looks a lot more packed in now with more stuff up there. All right, there's like way more stuff up there. I was a close second. No, look at it. Lots more things, all on one shelf. Although maybe I'm looking at it. Maybe I should have brought it down one shelf so it's directly behind me. You know, you can also get this merchandise It's been a while since I've done a merchandise thing, but you can get your hands on this merchandise on safetiesonrookie.com, guys. Safetiesonrookie.com to get your hands on merchandise like this or a variety of other items. We'll get back to that. We'll get back to that at the pomade, alright? It's been a minute since I've done a merchandise thing, but we'll get back to that. anyway, sorry guys. Let's get back to the chapter while we still have it. That's true. Then you won't be able to see it over my shoulder. No, you know what? You're right. We'll see. We'll decide. We'll decide another time. Look, you can see Pomni though. You can see Pomni. See? Look at all my neat stuff. Look at all my Dandadan stuff. Look. It's Momo from OP1. Down in front. Look, I've also got stuff on this shelf too. Pretty cool. Wouldn't you say? There we go. Right, where were we? What was I just saying before we started talking about my stuff? What was I saying? Yeah, no, so we're kind of at this point where Momo has obviously just a feeling, you know? But anyway, as Okurun is yearn-maxing, as Okurun is yearn-maxing and in looking at Momo and Gigi, he is distracted by Aira, who's showing him an old dinosaur picture. Like I said, I know. Momo's extra head is in Seiko's lap. I needed to put it somewhere. Her granny will look after it. Anyway, so she points out a dinosaur poster, and then Okurun's like, "Oh, that's old school, man. Yeah, we're getting good use out of yearn-maxing. That's true." And then he starts talking about dinosaurs walking on two legs, and how in old encyclopedias they drew all the dinosaurs walking on two legs. And Ida's like, it's kind of cute. Oh, man, she's actually great, isn't she? Like, I'm like, you know what's really good, actually? You know what's really good? This is how you, like, honestly, right? What's really good here is that when I look at Debunked by Sarah, I don't want to know. Stop ruining my Dandadan. No. Stop ruining my Dandadan. Mom, tell him. Tell her. No. But what's really good here is that with Aira and Okurun, it's like I can see it. You know what I mean? It's really bad, man. I feel really bad knowing that it's like, it's fucking doomed, right? I know that it's doomed. It has to be doomed. I want it to be doomed, right? But I see it. Don't you? Don't you? If, like, Momo wasn't there, I'd be like, yeah, these two. Let's get them together. It looks like they'd be great together. I see it. And it really upsets me that I see it. Doesn't it hurt? Yeah, she's really sweet, and I hate it. And I hate it. It's so bad, dude. No, they're incredibly, like, they get on. They get on really well. This right here, see this down here, this bottom left panel? This bit where she's like, is kind of cute. I can't, dude. That's like actually like a really nice little dynamic. You know what's even crazier? She kind of, if I'm remembering it right, she kind of looks like, they kind of look like her mum and dad. Fuck. Oh, no. 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 That's crazy. Fuck, dude. They look like her parents. Aira's dad, Dandadan. Oh, I typed in Dandadad. That'll do. Can we see her dad, please? Unnamed father. What the hell? Seriously? Where's the images of this guy? Why? What the hell? The wiki. Come on, what are we doing over here? Can somebody get me a picture of Aira's dad, please? All right, I can't go searching for it. All right, everybody will get mad at me. No, they do look like it. Don't start. Don't give me shit. They look like it, though. You know? Thank you, Nachan. Please send it me on Discord and I'll get it. Tell him not to worry so much about training. No, you're right. No, I'm getting like compatible vibes with them, you know? I'm getting compatible vibes from them and I hate it. I hate it because it means it's gonna be more painful, dude. It's gonna hurt more. This is, you know what's crazy? Oh, thank you, Natjam. Appreciate you, dude. Appreciate you, dude. No, but do we not have the one where he's crying though? Where he's crying about alright, see you, Sarah. Over the picture from the fucking companion theme above, the Daizuken. I'm just exploring it, right? I'm just exploring it, right? My point is that what is my point? I'm not doing this just to hurt everybody, all right? I'm doing this because they are compatible. And if there was no pretense here about who he should be with, about Momo and Okurun, this would be a pretty fucking good date. This would be a good date that they're going on. You know? Apart from the fact that he keeps looking off into the distance, right? Like, she's really putting in the work. And they get on really well and everything. It's quite sad. You know what I mean? No, I don't think that she's gonna sacrifice herself. I think that for me, they're gonna have to just you know what I mean? Move on. Oh, here we go. This is it. Thank you. She's the fastest. Look, they kind of look like each other. He kind of looks like Okurun. Look at this here. Right? It's bad, dude. It's as bad as it's ever been, dude. No. I don't like this any more than you do, by the way. Alright? This hurts me. You think this is bad. You're hearing it just now. I've been thinking about this. That's painful as shit, dude. No, he didn't like. We're not talking about Hase. Get Hase out of here. Oh my god, dude. Why do I not have moderators in this chat to ban all of you? Ban all of you. Ban all of you is crazy. Just me talking to me. All right, I was screaming at a mirror to talk to myself before. All right, I can do it again. I can go back to that like that, dude. Right, okay. Right, now people are shipping them. Now people are shipping Hase and Aira. What have I done? In-girl. No! Classes. I do have them. It's me, Aira's dad. What do you think? God, these are really foggy. Bro, how do you guys cope? How do you people who don't vision max cope, by the way? How do you guys who don't vision max cope? Because I feel like typically I'm eye-mogging most of you. Alright? I look like fucking Harry Potter, dude. Look at these Harry Potter specs. No, I don't. Sarah, please. Please, Sarah, don't. Yeah. What do you think? These are fucking awful. They really accentuate the bags under my eyes. Look at me. Look how tired I am all the time. There we go. Anyway. Alright, here we go. Right, no, I'm not talking. We're not doing this. All right, we're moving on. We're moving on. I'm finished with this bit. I'm tired of it. I tire of it. We're moving on. Anyway. Hold on. Just pouring out the last of my tea. Gerard Way feels a psychologist. I will accept that. I'll accept that. Now, you know what, Sarah? You're back in the good books again. Sarah, you're back in my good graces. Well done. Sarah's back in my good graces. Anyway. What was I saying? What was I talking about? Guys, look. I need you guys to really work with me here, because we are nearly an hour in. We're nearly an hour in, and we're on page 2. Okay? I really need you guys to work with me. All right? I did my first vanity search. I did my first vanity search on the Dandadan Discord, right? I'm not part of it, but I went over to see what's happening. I searched safeties on rookie. Incredibly humbling experience, by the way. Incredibly humbling experience. Like 2 mentions max. Like 2 mentions. It was painful. I was like, oh, that's humbling, but that's fine. You know, whatever. That's fine. Whatever. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt me. It doesn't hurt my feelings. It doesn't make me feel like nothing. But one of the mentions was somebody talking about a different stream to watch, and it was like, oh, you know, I watch this guy's streams to catch up with the Dandadan stuff. That's totally fine. But then they said you could also check out safeties on rookie if you want to go through, if you have 3 hours to spend on going through a chapter. And it's like, oh, they got us. It's your fault as well. For the record, I went and I checked out some of these other streams. They're going through it like lightning. Like lightning. It's your guys' fault. You keep me hung up with the Hase shit. With the Hase Aira shipping. What the fuck is wrong with you guys? Alright? They're making a mockery of me, and it's your fault. It's your fault. And here I am. I'm just trying to talk about Dandadan. Also, for the record, we do a task at the end. We do a little bit of brain activity. No, you... Dodo, it's fine. It's fine, Dodo, Garen, Cruel Blast Wyvern, 7411. It's all good, dude. Also, like, that may not... If this is your first stream, you know, I apologize for that being your first exposure. We actually do talk about Dandadan here. Don't leave. Please. What are we doing? What are we talking about? We're talking about Dandadan, alright? What are we doing? We're talking about Dandadan. No, I can't cope. This is for people. Aw, yeah. You know what, Sarah? That's nice. Thank you. I don't know. We're on page 2. We're on page 2, and we're fucking 58 minutes in. We're on 58 minutes, and we're on page 2. All right, where are we? What are we doing? I'm actually losing my mind. I'm losing my focus. God damn. Grip it and rip it, baby. Oh shit. Okay. Nice. Anyway, that just happened. I am a good lord. You're quite right. Anyway, page 3. We're on page 3 now. So they're talking about the dinosaurs. And Aira's like, oh, it's kind of cute. Right? It's kind of cute. Oh my god. And then we get a little bit of education on paleontology. When an American paleontologist originally reconstructed the Hadrosaurus skeleton, he had the image of a kangaroo in mind, which is why the so-called Godzilla stance became the standard, it seems. But I don't think that scientists' intuition was wrong. I mean, it's unimaginable under today's gravity that a creature with such a big head would stand like balance scales. Yeah, I mean, to me, I think that this is mostly just set up, right? I think that we're gonna get some dinosaur thing next, you know. I think we're gonna get some dinosaur thing next. Yeah, no, this is like a book club. That's true. It's a book club therapy session kind of vibe, you know. Also, if you aren't aware, this is incorrect dinosaur thing. It's purely set up. It's purely set up for the next fight, I imagine. Right? One could only presume that is the case. It'd be crazy if they got like another Loch Ness monster kind of thing, right? Like if Gigi and Momo are going to go to the what appears to be what did they say? Was it the aquarium or something? Yeah, the aquarium. If they're going to the aquarium, I presume that there's something in that. Either kangaroos, maybe kangaroos. You're not wrong, Shannon, but I feel like maybe dinosaurs. But balance and gravity and a big head are probably all going to be involved in it. I imagine. But I was wrong about the vampire thing, so fuck it. Who knows? You know? Night of the... Oh, that would be sick. Night of the museum type thing. That'd be sick. Yeah, like a megalodon. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I'm not going to predict what's coming next insofar as fights, because this series is just... I can't. It's impossible. Alright, we're going off the deep end again. You're distracting me again, alright? I just rushed through page 4 there. Did you just see that shit? I can't concentrate with you guys. It's nice, though. Like, it's not a bad thing. We'll get to Mothman one day. Anyway, then Okrun's all like, I believe that dinosaurs walked like Godzilla, and that's my reason for believing, because I like it. Fair enough. I mean, I don't know if that's any scientific basis for things, dude. But look at this, though. Look at this. I can't, though. I'm crashing out again. I'm crashing out again, though. Oh, my God. Look at it. And then she comments on the fact that he's much more comfortable. And that she's glad that he's more comfortable. And then he's sorry. And then she's like, no, please don't. Keep talking like that. Oh, my God, dude. What's happening? I can't. It's actually really bad. It's actually really bad. She loves him. Bro, she's in love with the guy. No, dude. She's in love with him. Oh, no, dude. Oh, my God, dude. That's my entire life savings, dude. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I can't with this, though. Sorry, I need a second. Just give me a second. God damn it! It's fine. It's gonna feel really bad when her heart breaks. You know? Yeah, she's in love with his ass, dude. Oh no. Ain't no way, dude. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Alright, it's all fine. But she is in love with him. And it's dreadful. It's a dreadful thing. And he's more comfortable talking to her because he's just more confident than he was before. I mean, he's a different guy, isn't he? But I think for her, this is like... No, am I going to say it? Am I going to say it? Yeah, I'm just going to say it. You know, this date for Aira, for the longest time, this date is kind of the only thing she's ever wanted. Right? This is like perfect. This is like a perfect dream that this is happening. In her mind right now. In her mind right now, this is like a dream come true. So think about that. Stew on that for a little bit. Stew on that for a little bit. And just have a little think about it. Because it's not good. It's like a dream come true. No. Oh no. I've hurt myself. That had splash damage on it. That was an AoE and I hurt myself with it. Yeah. Nah, I don't know what to tell you. You know, what am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to say? Alright, okay, right. I'm glad that everybody else feels bad inside. Look, if I had kept that to myself, it would have been just me. It would have been just me feeling that pain. I feel pain, and I feel like I need to make others feel that too. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure that's a healthy thing. It's probably fine. Anyway, she highlights the fact that he's more comfortable talking to her, and she tells him that she's glad, because she likes him, because she likes him a lot. And yeah, I mean, in a lot of ways, he struggled being that comfortable with Momo at times, right? You know? I know, yeah, I know. Don't worry about it, dude. Don't worry about it. Gabriel. I'm sorry, your tag is not the same as your name used to be. I feel like your name's Gabriel. It's everybody's tags aren't the same as what their names used to be, so I'm completely turned around about what to call people. All right. Anyway, she is calm down. All right, I'm gonna. Okay, all right. Jeez. It is painful though to see it, right? It's I don't know. I do feel really bad for her though. Like it feels not very pleasant to sit by and see this happen, especially when you know what's going to be coming later with it, which is that it's going to fail, right? But I mean, ultimately, like Gigi, he did this with Gigi before. Like he was comfortable with Gigi before anybody else because it was his friend. I think the fact that he isn't interested in her maybe is part of the reason why he's comfortable being this way towards her, right? I don't know. It's nice. I think that they will obviously. I'm curious about how much longer this is going to go on though. It can't go on forever. I feel like now that we're highlighting this crush now in such a clear way, in such a straightforward capacity, a date, it feels like we can't just pretend that it's not there now, right? I think it's gonna Nicholas, I think I agree with you. I think that it's got to be coming soon, and I think that Momo and Okurun getting together is gonna shift a lot of the character dynamics, right? What is Okurun and Okurun and Aira's relationship outside of this elemental kind of thing, this crush kind of thing? We're gonna have to redefine what that is. Same with Gigi and Momo. But anyway, as he's more comfortable with her, he apologizes for it and then basically backtracks on being that way, and she begs him to not revert to being uncomfortable with him. And again, across that barrier, that sideways pillar in the middle of the store, Momo looks over and can see them kind of flirting. I mean, that is kind of what it is, right? And she's fucking furious, dude. She's furious. Look at her. Yeah, we have Momo. I don't give a fucking. She's jealous. She's literally not even the sideways pickle. Yeah, she is she's not even paying attention to what Gigi's doing, right? You know, like she's incredibly jealous, and she doesn't know why. Like it's crazy because you know that inside she's screaming. You know, there's part of her that's still in there that knows, and that part of her is fucking screaming. You know? She doesn't give a rat's ass about that guy. Dude, she's so jealous, man. I hate it as well. It's so sad. It's like, it's really good. It's really good. Like, I quite enjoy seeing these feelings occurring. Gigi didn't get his candy. No, that's true, actually. Yeah. But that's how much she needs to be out of there. You know what I mean? Like, it's really, I don't know. I'm really intrigued by this direction just generally, right? Because she's obviously incensed in the way that she is jealous, right? In her jealousy, she's obviously absolutely fuming and simmering away. I mean, it's fuck. I don't know, man. I can't do it. But like, but this is the thing, though. This is the fucking thing with Momo, right? Is that it's. She could have just said yes. She could have just said yes to the date, couldn't she? None of this would be a problem if she did that. But this pretense, this notion in her mind that she couldn't do that, despite the fact that clearly she wanted to do that, is, I mean, they kind of already were on a date when they went to that exhibit together, right? Like, that was kind of a date, more or less. She wants to do that, and she can't let herself admit that, I suppose. She's a very closed off person, you know? She's stubborn, yeah. I mean, it's a lot of things, isn't it? It's a lot of things. But she wants to make him jealous now, right? She grabs Gigi and drags him off, saying that there's an aquarium tour and they can go check it out, while holding his arm. I mean, like, it's just an attempt. It's just an attempt to make him jealous. I mean, she didn't even really have that idea for anything else. She was looking at Okurun and looked past him, basically, in order to find the aquarium tour, which is such a, it's like, that's her whole focus, you know? Like, the two of them are on these, essentially on separate dates, right? I mean, when they did the group date thing, the whole idea of the group date was everybody gets to hang out together. But it's kind of just people have split off into these pairings. And despite the fact that they're both on these dates separately, they're kind of, those entire dates are built around this tension between two characters. This tension between two characters, and it's this is a really good scene, actually. I actually really like this scene. I like this scene a lot just because of the fact that it's very subtextual, right? Like there's tension between two characters who don't even speak to each other, but they are being forced into two separate dates, right? It's quite an interesting situation to see unfolding, because the whole room, they're obviously in their two different pairings and they're having conversations back and forth and stuff, but the whole room is still dominated by the tension between these two characters who don't even look at each other. They only look at each other when the other one isn't looking, right? And in their minds, it's not, oh, we're looking at each other in any real capacity. In their minds, the other person isn't looking at them, because whenever they look over, they're not looking. You know? That is interesting, Nicholas. That is interesting in the Spanish version. I actually kind of like that. I actually kind of like that version that you've just outlined. I mean, if Nachan, if you're in the chat, I'd like to I don't know if you've mentioned it or not yet. I've been kind of all over the place today, but I'd like to know more about what exactly Momo's thinking there in the original Japanese. Thank you. Because I'm quite curious about how that looks, because like the jealousy of Aira there, or the envy, I suppose, the jealousy about Okurun in regards to Aira is even clearer in that version of it, right? You know? Hello, Toaster. Welcome. We are what, like 6 pages in? We're 6 pages in. Hour and 15 minutes. We had a whole thing earlier. We've been crashing out a bit. You missed a lot of the crash out. But yes, thank you, Natchan. If you can get that, I'd appreciate it. If not, don't worry about it. You're doing God's work. Anyway, so then they leave to go to the aquarium. But like I said, I think what I really like about this scene is the fact that the whole room is sort of dominated by the tension between the two characters who aren't even looking at each other. It really adds an interesting flavor to everything that's happening without it being absolutely shoved down your throat, right? Like, the characters don't need to say out loud, oh, I want to be on the date with this character, or oh, etc., etc. Like, they feel trapped. They feel trapped, if that makes sense. Like, in the nicest, kindest prison of all time. Hi there, Mabu Abu. Welcome. Hi, Yasmin. She says, uncomfortable with her and being with Aira. That is interesting. That is interesting, Yasmin. I like that. No, this is interesting. All right, so this is a bit closer to the original than the Spanish and stuff. But still, it's interesting to see it because you get. I've always maintained that translations and transcreated Mabu Babu. All right, cool. I'll try and keep that up here in the old dome, dude. Thank you for giving me the grace to get it right. Anyway, yeah, no, I've always kind of maintained that the kind of translated, transcreated, localized versions of content kind of gives you different versions of the characters in a way, you know. Like I wrote a whole like article for some animation website about Cowboy Bebop's English versus Japanese and how it creates a pretty different perception of the characters based on the performances and the translations of the work, right? Yeah, no, of course, it's never going to be an absolute one. Mabufu. All right, I got it. But anyway, they go off to the aquarium, and Okrun watches as she walks away. And then Aira jumps him and says, how about we go to the dinosaur exhibit? And now they are split up. I mean, now it's not even like they're not even like on a group date anymore, are they? They're not even on a group date. They're just on separate dates. Like, oh, man, I would really like for... I think, right, and you know, these things unfold how they unfold, but I think by the end of this... After the end of this date, and what I'd really love to see is after this date sequence and the fight sequence that is no doubt going to come from it, I think we're going to get a dinner scene. Right? I think we're about to get a dinner scene after this. Because it just kind of makes sense, I think, for everybody to be in one location again. Or if this, for example, if the barber is the new guy, the strong guy that was sent to protect them, perhaps. I mean, I feel like he's too outwardly fucking evil to be just a bad guy, but I don't know, maybe he is. But never split the party. Yes, that's true. I feel like we're going to get a dinner scene because things are going to need to become clearer to us, I think, about where everybody stands together. Also, I'm pretty sure Zuma was running over to Seiko's house, so I feel like them all reconvening there in some capacity is going to be a good way for everybody to kind of go, what do we know? Everybody to rally together. No, I mean, Zuma was heading to the house, is my point, right? I think after the date is done, I think everybody's going to reconvene at the house again, and we're going to get something there. But for me, what I think is important here is that by the end of this date, I think that I think that by the end of this date, Okurun and Momo, maybe at the end or just after the end of it, are going to have to, or maybe even after that, to be honest, but at some point, I think Momo and Okurun are going to have to agree to go on an actual date, right? Like, it feels like you kind of have to. We've seen all the different pairings. It feels like we kind of need that at a certain point, doesn't it? At least in my opinion. I think it would be important to see that, right? Because Momo and Okurun's relationship has always grown when they're away from everybody else. And this is exactly why. There are too many distractions. When this is kind of, it's like when they were all living together. It's like when they were all living together, it was impossible to get those moments together outside of Okurun walking home from work with Momo, right? Like, those are the moments where they're able to connect, because they can't do it in front of other people. It just doesn't work. There are too many distractions and too many different things. It's how it's always been, right? Yeah. I think that you know, just, I think bear with it. The jealousy stuff, in my opinion, it adds texture. I think that this jealousy stuff adds texture, and overcoming it, I think, is important for the two of them to connect, right? Like, overcoming jealousy means understanding that you're jealous and making a conscious choice to do something to change, to overcome the jealousy. But in order to know and acknowledge you feel jealous, you also need to acknowledge you like this person enough to feel jealous. Does that make sense? Like, that's how I always felt about their previous jealousy issues in the Serpo arc and the Cursed House arc. It's through jealousy that they're able to understand that they care more than just friends, because they see a problem with them connecting with other people as more than just friends. So it forces them to acknowledge their feelings and then to kind of close the door to other people. And I think that's what's going to be the case here. I think that we're going to see that here. I think that they're going to have to kind of like come to some kind of... The jealousy is going to need to be something that they overcome, and possibly through the next fight, but definitely through connecting with each other more, you know? Yeah, because there's always something to distract them. Exactly, Yasmin. Totally. But anyway, the stars of the show, we move on to Kinta and Vamola, who are kind of on their own date, right? And they encounter a strange barber man. And he doesn't like Kinta's hair. He doesn't like Kinta's hairdo. Which is, yeah, I mean... And he's standing like this. Crooked. It's so ridiculous. Who else has a weird hairdo around here? This guy's movement is amazing. Look at this entire scene. Look at this entire scene. This is the same shit. These are the same fucking panels. These are the same panels. You do stop. Man. I love Vamola. I love Vamola. You know? Yeah, no, Mark, no chance. There's no point. I'm past trying to predict this fucking series. I'm past trying to predict this series because it's a losing battle. There's no point. There's no point. Like, you can predict the way that characters are going to maybe grow together, but that's like the outline of, like, you know what I mean? It's like oil on water. It just is the actual, you know what I mean? It just doesn't mean anything to try to predict it. Yeah, no, this is what I'm saying. Yeah. I mean, Yasmin, arguably, it's a lot of the old jealousy stuff. I quite like, if this is like kind of restating some of the old jealousy stuff, packing it all in together, packing it all in together now so that they can overcome it quickly makes sense because I don't want to do multiple jealousy arcs with this, right? I'd like to just get it all done in one big go, you know? What's his name? The giant baker. The giant baker. And do they look that similar? Do they look that similar? I mean, do they look that similar? I feel like they don't. I feel like it's been overstated. You oversold it to me. You oversold it to me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Pickle. You oversold it to me. He oversold it to me. Somebody take away his employee of the week. Take away his employee of the week. Take away his employee of the week and give it to me. The FIFA employee of the week. Anyway. Where were we? Yes, the weirdo with the weird haircut. Alright. And then he just follows them around, which is kind of fucked up. This is kind of weird that he's doing that, generally speaking. I love the way that Vamola walks, by the way. She walks like a penguin. It's great. Look at her arms. Look at her arms, always to the side. Vamola has like shot up my favorite character rankings this arc. You know? She's absolutely like boosted her way through it. You know, like, because she's obviously not fully there with knowing how to speak Japanese. She's not fully there with it. It's like so she's kind of, she uses a lot of kind of more like simplistic terms or straight to the point terms, like okay, just goes okay, or you do. And it's like, it's so fucking matter of fact. It's great. You know, it's really fun. Used to walking in the kaiju suit. Maybe. I mean, she wouldn't, like, maybe, yeah. I suppose that is a good point, actually. She's wearing real, actual, normal person clothes now, isn't she? She's not just wearing the kaiju suit that's making it look like that. She's just wearing normal clothes. You know? Yeah. Yeah, she's got head empty all the time. But yeah, the barber really wants to cut Kinta's hair. And he's... and then he's like, you're being super rude. You're being super rude, by the way. This guy is being really rude, to be fair. Like, you know what I mean? Yes, I mean, that suits your namesake, Wary Exile. You sound wary. Wary. You sound wary. Don't worry about it, dude. Don't worry about it. Like, we're gonna get there. You just need to... Don't worry so much about the destination on this, alright? Let's just take it step by step and see where we get, you know? I'm not in a rush. I'm not in a rush. If Momo and Okarun got together tomorrow... without us getting there in the right way, it wouldn't feel right. This is like, don't worry about it, dude. Look, we're here every week. We're here every week, all right? If we struggle to cope, don't worry. We can cope together with hope. Don't worry about it. Just come here and we'll just chill. We'll just chill and talk about Dandadan. You know, I've enjoyed this chapter. I also want to get to the destination as well, but what you gonna do, man? You know, I'm here for the ride, man. Anyway, this guy keeps being really rude. And Vamola's face, by the way, Vamola's face. Look, it's just like fucking, what's going on, dude? This is outside of her ability to comprehend, I think. That's true, Exile. That's true. I mean, we're still here. I've got big plans for next week, Exiles, so don't worry about it. I've got a few ideas about how to make a pretty fun Dandadan thing that we've got going on for next week, which I think will be a nice break, you know? As long as Tatsu gets his break, as long as my boy gets his break to keep making the thing that I adore, I'm happy with that, you know? It's let's just keep going and see where we go, you know? See where we end up. Hi lol. That stream, I will announce that stream when I'm ready to do so. It won't be the same day as a normal stream, I don't think. I'll decide. I'll think about it. But anyway, stay with me and I'll get to that. Anyway, so he agrees. He agrees to get his hair cut, and this is where the meme is born. You know? Yeah, no, I agree with you, Meadow. I think that we're not gonna see on again, off again stuff with this. Like when they're in, they're locked in. It's not. I don't know. I'm of the mind that this is a locked in kind of thing to me, you know? May the egg have its break. I love that. That's really good. That's excellent. That's really good, Yasmin. I like that a lot. No, but I think that they're gonna lock in, right? Yeah, exactly. Every time that he's taking time off, you know that we're gonna get something good. Just generally. I'm not worried about it. You know? If you make it weird, I'll see you in court. Are we actually about to? I can't believe it, right? And I know that we've been doing this whole like kind of like there's a meme and stuff going about all of his different hairstyles. Are we about to get an upgrade for Kinta? Is Kinta about to upgrade to something else? Is he going to be like a badass? Is he going to look like a badass? Or do you think he's going to look ridiculous? Imagine if he gives him Okurun's old haircut. You know, the one with the little things at the front. I know. And she's all like, oh, can you cut my hair as well? And he's like, get the fuck out of my shop. Get the fuck out of my shop. I don't want to cut your fucking stinky hair. And she has to stand outside on her own. No! What have you done? What have you done? CSG Turbo Granny is canon. Oh, that's crazy. I hate that. But thank you for the super chat, Wary. I'm glad that you enjoy the videos. Thank you. That's what keeps me going, guys, you know? That last video, for some reason, hasn't done very well at all. That's fine, because I do it for the love of the game. But it's nice to see that the people who do watch it have enjoyed it and left comments and things like that. So that makes me happy. So I'm glad to see that you enjoy it. Visit in a certain doubt. Yeah. Look at him. Anyway, and while she's outside, she can sense it. The flour. Wheat flour. She's able to detect wheat flour. That's great. Look at her. Look at her go. I'm covering her up. Hold on. Look at her go. That's great. Takoyaki. Look at her go. Man, I love Vermola. Vermola has just shot up my listings, right? Like, absolutely shot up them. I don't know what this guy's about, to be honest. This is fucking creepy as shit. This is really creepy. I don't know. Does this guy have, like, yokai powers? Because it looks like he's covering up a mask or something. Right? Or become the most chopped bald egg in the world. That'd be crazy if he just fucking gave him the buzz cut. If he gave him the buzz cut, though. Anything but the bowl cut. Anything but the bowl cut. Get to it then. Get to it then. That's crazy. Kinta's a fucking... He's really... What is this? What's going on here? What is going on here, by the way? This is the fucking weirdest shit. I know that we've had some weird shit in Dandadan, but this is fucking weird. This panel, look how fucking strange everything on it is. Doesn't that make you uncomfortable? Right? I haven't... Yeah, he seems like a villain. But this is my thing. No, Exile, that's what I was saying. Like, I was saying this on the Discord. Patreon, link in the description. Join as a free member to get access to the Discord. It's the best place on the internet for Dandadan. I was saying in the Discord, I feel like he's too overtly evil to just be evil. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it feels like he's too evil. Making him evil would be too on the nose, I feel. Either that, or he's just been confusing us for so long now that I don't know what to believe anymore. And then he complains about the fact that he's wasting his valuable date time with Vermola on this. End of chapter. End of chapter for a week. End of chapter for a week. That's it. Got a whole week missing. There's no, maybe you're right, Blissy. Maybe you're right. You know, 1.5. That's crazy. 1.5 hours on a chapter. A lot of that was me crashing out. To be fair, a lot of that was me crashing out. Right. I hope that you guys crashed out too. You know, that makes it all worth it. But I mean, that's part of it, isn't it? Like, really, when you think about it, part of the reason that we do any of this here is so that we have a place to collectively crash out together, right, guys? You know? Alright, Yasmin. I'm glad that you were here. See you later. See you later. But part of the reason that we do this is so that we can all collectively crash out together. Because, you know, I think that one thing that is really kind of important about this, and this is why it's important for me anyway, that we don't kind of just fall into doomer behavior, because I enjoy this. You know, I enjoy being able to just chat about Dandadan. I enjoy being able to talk about it in the Discord. Patreon link in the description. Join as a free member to get access to the Discord. It's the best place on the internet for Dandadan. I enjoy being able to do that kind of thing. And the fact that we've got a kind of community there of people who are, you know, doing the same thing, but also a lot of these people are very invested in the channel. You know, some of them have been supporting the channel for a long time, to the point where it's like there are more people on the top tier of the Patreon, which is crazy to me, and they're the ones that make this all happen. You know, that's the reason this all works as well as it does. I don't know that it's going to be a forever thing, and every single, you know, person who's there who is supporting the channel is more than I could ever ask for. So for me, it's really important to make sure that we highlight these people. I highlight these people as much as I can. So that's 720, Angle, Blissy Cat, Danny Dan, the Danny Dan. Is the Danny Dan real? 5th gram, Low Taper Fade. These names becoming ridiculous. Old Toaster, Orbis 6565, Quentin Tarantado, Sarah, Squid Empress Jellies, Thy Wolf, Your Favorite Scented Candle, Zero, Jersey. I don't know how to say his names. Droopin Bangledrap and Tim Kai. People, incredible people, everybody. Incredible people. The reason that this whole thing works, you know. Okaroon being Pinocchio is a misdirect. I mean, I don't know, dude. I mean, like, it's a tricky thing, isn't it? Like, we did the whole kind of like figuring out who's who was a few streams back, and then the next week we see, oh, actually Little Red Riding Hood is just Nuglover. Like to me that was a surprising thing, right? I couldn't have anticipated that. And it's hard to say. I mean, I didn't think that Okarun would be Pinocchio because he doesn't even have powers. Like, the guy doesn't even have powers at this point. So I don't understand to what... I suppose you could say that he's always wanted to be a real boy in the sense that he's been socially outcast and maligned for his whole life. And he wanted to feel. He's always kind of been... He's never really been alive, you know, until he met Momo, until all of these things came into his life, right? Like, he wasn't alive, a real boy, until this all happened. And I don't know. I suppose that's Pinocchio-esque, isn't it? And more importantly, guy lied. That's really... We keep going back to it this stream. But my boy lied. You know? That's why we're in this situation right now. This is why his whole thing with Momo didn't work, because he's been lying. You know? It was like, it's not really his fault, but he lied. I mean, it is going to be interesting, I suppose, because the bad guys will be after him, right? The bad guys are going to be after Okarun, and it would be very interesting to me. And one theory that I've had for a long time is something I really wanted to see occur at some point, would be Momo or Okarun kind of captured, and then the other one essentially like trading something for them, right? I don't know that that's going to happen at this point. That ship might have sailed, but it does carry the same it would be interesting to see to what lengths Momo would go to protect Okarun. You know what I mean? Like she told herself, yes, he lied, right? Yes, he lied about wanting to go on a date with her, but her thing has been repeatedly at this point telling herself that she doesn't care about this guy, that she doesn't know who he is, she doesn't care about him. She said it in the shop earlier. It would be interesting to see what lengths she would go to protect him, to save him. Do you know what I mean? Because that kind of spits in the face of this idea that she doesn't care, when she clearly does. You know? So I'd be curious about that. If they're after Okarun, that is, right? They and we've seen to what lengths they're willing to go to get these powers from them. You know? Yeah, exactly. No, that's a good point, Nicholas. Yeah. I mean, self-sacrifice has always been an important thing with these two. Most notably when Okarun was in the Tsuchinoko lair with Turbo Granny and it went into the lava swallowed it up. She was ready to jump in. She was ready to jump into the lava to save him. And it was at that moment of self-sacrifice, right? It was at that moment of self-sacrifice that she realized that she felt this feeling, this thing that was deeper than just friendship. You know what I mean? It was at that moment that she realized it. So having a moment after the jealousy thing, as you know, because that was after the jealousy thing as well, having a moment like that come to fruition again, a moment of self-sacrifice in order to save this person that they didn't realize that they felt so strongly about, is kind of the whole point. You know, that was kind of the whole point of that whole thing back then. And I'd be curious to see how it works now. You know what I mean? 'Cause it would work. It would be great. That's probably my favorite moment. I did a whole video on it. It was great. I loved doing it. I loved that video. I loved making that video. Because that's the moment that Momo Ayase fell in love. You know? That is, to me, one of the most pivotal turning points in the series. because there is no. If you're willing to die, if you're willing to die just for not even for the guarantee, but for the fraction of a chance that you could save somebody, that's because you care about that person a lot. You know? So if they're coming after Okrun, it would be interesting if we saw that. It'd be very interesting if we saw that. In fact, take a note of that. I don't know if Janny's still here. But if you can hear me, Janny, take a note of that. If not, I'll do it mentally. I'll do a mental note myself. if that's the case. I don't know. It's intriguing though. I mean, Dandadan is like sublime, isn't it? Isn't Dandadan great? Normally this is where we do our extra. My notepad. I do not have one. Don't tell on me. Don't tell on me, please. Normally we would do a part of the activity here, but I don't know if I got it in me tonight. Guys. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of a vibe. I'm just gonna vibe, and then I'm gonna hit it. Oh, I just turned off the music. Oh my god. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, it's weird, isn't it? Isn't it weird without it? It feels so silent. There we go. That's it. There it is. Yeah, we'll save it for next week. We'll get to the 2 hour mark. You know. I honestly don't know, Exile. I mean, I'm not massively a kind of. Funnily enough, I'm not really that much of a plot person when it comes to Dandadan. I'm really just in it for the characters, and I know enough about what's happening to kind of like figure out all that stuff, like what's happening and all that. But I don't really keep track of the various different like names and terminology and stuff, you know. I mean, I think the Sorcerers Association and the Exorcist Guild sounds similar enough, right? I don't know. I mean, the Yatagarasu gang, I feel like maybe they share some power or call upon some power of Yatagarasu. I don't know. We'll see, no doubt, very soon. Whether or not that's the case. But yeah. I'm curious. Yeah, it's always just waiting for Tatsu, isn't it? It's always just waiting for Tatsu to figure it out. And that's fine. I'm fine with that. Honestly, I'm fine with that. I mean, like, he's never steered us wrong. I mean, I feel like all of this is going somewhere, and we just need to have the patience to get there. Have the patience to get there. Like, I feel very strongly that there is something waiting for us that's going to be really, really great. It has to be to be worth it, you know. And I personally don't see how it wouldn't be, how we wouldn't get to a point where it feels like it was worth it by the end of this, because I don't know. This series, it fills me with something, you know. It fills me with something really, really kind of like, I don't know. It's comfortable. It feels really comfortable to me. I don't know how any of us are gonna cope when eventually, not soon, but eventually when it ends. I don't know how any of us are gonna cope. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do, right? You know. God, this has been a really great arc though, so far. You know, I kind of wish that I was around for like the like space globalist stuff and whatnot, because I imagine people's reactions to all the fights and stuff in that was probably not that great. You know? Yeah, you know what? Meadow, I watched the anime for Chainsaw Man very recently. I've still not seen the Reze arc. Is that it? Reze? I've not seen that yet. The movie. I want to. Whenever I get the opportunity to, I will. But I'm thinking about picking up Chainsaw Man. I'm thinking about picking it up because, like, from what I've heard, everybody is deeply damaged by the point that it's ending on. Like, this chapter is ending on part 2 or whatever. I fucking love that. I kind of love that. It's like a challenge. It feels like a challenge to me to get involved in that now. So I feel like I might have to. Just to hurt myself a little. You know what I mean? Like, when it comes to stories, Dandadan notwithstanding, I'm a bit of a masochist for this kind of stuff, right? Like, I feel like feeling joy and happiness from a story is quite elementary, I think. When it comes to feeling something really painful, right? Feeling something really painful, I think that takes chops to make you feel that. It takes a bit of work to make you feel that way, right? Like, to feel that way means you have to have felt joy at some point for that to then be swiped away from you. And you have to really feel something genuinely for the characters, for the story, for the everything. If you're going to lose that, oh God, nightmarish to even think about it. I'm all over it. I love that. Yeah, I want that. No, Tarantado, that's what I'm after. That's the thrill that I seek in this life, is to just watch and read stuff that hurts my feelings. That's the stuff, you know? Not Dandadan. Dandadan's the exception. Dandadan, I want to always be happy all the time. That's not true either. I'm enjoying the jealousy stuff. Fuck it. I don't care. Yeah. I agree with you, Exile. I think that Tatsu has been kind of like expanding the world a bit recently. And I think that that's what gives me hope that Momo and Okarun's relationship is going to start moving soon. Because we need to get to a point, like, if he's looking at expanding the universe, the world that they're in, what we're going to have, like, why would you be doing that other than we need other things to focus on as well, besides just Momo and Okarun's will they, won't they kind of thing. Or the slow burn, rather. So, I feel like that's the tell that they're going to get together soon. Because he's looking for other characters to start to hinge on, like Aira and Gigi and Kinta and Vamola. All of these characters, you start looking for that when you start realizing, okay, these guys are going to be less of a... They're still going to be the main characters, and their relationship is still going to have to go through different things, but they're also going to be in a different stage together. I think opening up the world now, taking this time where it's kind of like, right, we can create that tension between Momo and Okarun. Now's the time to start building up what's coming next, right? The guy that came in between the haircut. I think that's maybe the power that he has underneath RV. I don't know who it is, but I think that's just the guy's powers underneath it. Whatever they are, right? Yeah, Dandadan is the anti-trauma, yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, I'd need to read Chainsaw Man to find out. Like, I'm happy to feel I'm happy to be hurt by things if I go into it knowing that this is the world that you want, that is going to do that to you, right? Yeah, some kind of haircut yokai. Who knows? Maybe he has yokai powers and he controls scissors. Who knows? Right? Because I feel like when it did switch to that other thing, his jaw area was cut off essentially. It was like black. That's usually the part of the face that turns into a mask, right? When they're using a yokai power. So to me, that kind of feels like maybe he's a power user in some capacity, right? Because otherwise, why would you cover that area? No, I mean, I don't know if that's. I think different stories, different worlds give you different expectations of stuff, right? Does that make sense? If you go into Dandadan, which is not really, the characters don't really die, they just kind of like the kids. There's like an element of the world here is not so bleak, you know. It's kind. Dandadan is kind. If you go into that and then they kill fucking Okarun by getting him chopped into bits or something in the next chapter, that's not the tone. That's like you've gone the complete fucking reverse way of what you've set up your tone to be. That would be a mistake. That would be a subversion of expectations purely for the sake of creating shock value. That would be enough for me. All right, see you, Hoops. That would be too much for me. I would be out. All right, that would be like horrible. A world like Chainsaw Man, which is pretty fucking nasty from what I've seen, and the anime stuff, especially like from what I saw in there, it's not a kind world. And it's not a world where people doing the right thing or doing the thing that feels natural is going to be necessarily rewarded. Again, I haven't read it, so I can't specify further than that. So going into that, you've got to steel yourself for it, and hopefully get an ending that is meaningful, if perhaps a tad painful, a bittersweet ending, if you will. Overall, I mean, this is not the ending, is it? It's the ending of part 2, isn't it? To my understanding. I mean, the best for me, the best like difference is like Evangelion, right? You weren't going to get the most satisfying, all answers given to all questions asked kind of ending with that, and you didn't get that. You got something that was a bit confusing, but ultimately hopeful, if painful, hopeful. And that's what you got with Evangelion. Cowboy Bebop was never the kind of story where the characters were going to all come out of it really happy. It's just not the kind of story that's being told. So I think you got to go into certain worlds and follow the instructions that you are being given by the world, which is that this is not the kind of world where you get a happy ending. You know what I mean? Dandadan is a kind world. Not kind world, a kind story. A kind story about characters that are... It's a digestible story, right? But that doesn't mean that it doesn't focus on social issues. It's about outcasts. You know what I mean? It's about outcasts. It's about people who are on the fringes of society and the pain that they go through in trying to be seen and noticed and survive in that way. Do you know what I mean? This story is not against going to dark places, but it always goes to those dark places, I think, with a meaning or a purpose that you can take away from it. All of its kindness disarms you to these stories about the about people, about struggles, about society, about the world, and the way that it sidelines certain people. You know? Well, I don't know, Exile. I'll need to again, no spoilers, guys. No spoilers. I didn't need no spoilers, alright? Like, no spoilers. I'll get to it. I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna check it out, alright? I'm gonna check it out. It's different for me because I'm obviously just gonna binge it. Rather than going all in one go. So, you know what I mean? so it's not as bad for me. But it's not the kind of thing that you do this for, you know what I mean? Like, it's not the kind of thing that I just sit and read the chapters on like live or whatever, because it's like, and then the awful thing happens, and then a really awful thing happens again, you know? Yeah, Nicholas, exactly, yeah. Or Acro Silky's story, like, to me, Acro Silky's story is horrifying and terrifying because it's very real. But what's worse about the story of Acro Silky, is that nobody cares. You know what I mean? The world doesn't give a fuck. This just happens to people, and the world keeps on spinning, because the world kind of has to trample on people to for some people to be able to stand up taller. You know, they have to do it on the backs of other people. And these people are invisible. The world doesn't give a fuck. Does not care. So the characters, the cast, being able to learn her story and see it and care and remember it, remember all of the pain and the sacrifice that Acro Silky went through, that the woman who became Acro Silky went through for her daughter, to see that and to care about it and remember it is hope in itself. Do you know what I mean? Like, the worst pain of that was the fact that nobody would even know who she was or give a fuck. And all of everything she did would mean nothing. It would mean fucking nothing, because she couldn't look after her daughter. She couldn't protect her daughter. That's number one. She couldn't protect her daughter, and she tried. She did everything right, but she still lost. And she didn't do anything else after that. She killed herself. And then she became this haunted, stretched out entity. It's such a bad life that has no meaning if nobody remembers it, if nobody gives a fuck about it. And for all you learn about these characters and all of the hope and the joy and everything, and then you counterbalance it with this horrible awfulness, right? These guys are all on the fringe of society too, in a lot of ways, right? Okrun, obviously, but also Momo. She couldn't really be who she wanted to be, who she really is. Aira, she also couldn't be who she really is. She has to be this picture perfect kind of version of herself and give what people and give a version of herself that people will actually tolerate and find palatable in order to give off this air of perfection. They're all on the outskirts of society, and they're all outcasts in the same way that Acro Silky is, and it's important that these outcasts can come together and find and make something unique, you know? I think that's one of Dandadan's strengths, is that it's not just that it is obviously a kind story in and of itself, but that it's on the back of these other things, if that makes sense. It's counterbalanced by this heaviness, this heft, you know? It's about humanity. It's about humanity and the need to connect and find purpose. It's so good. It's so fucking good. I mean, you guys obviously know that. You're here, right? But, like, it's so good, dude. It's absurd. It's absurdly good. Dandadan is absurdly good. It's hard at times, but it does that for you, for the story. Yeah, I mean, obviously. Obviously, because we're all here, but, like, you know what I mean. You know what I mean, right? You guys know what I mean, what I'm saying. You're picking up what I'm putting down, right? You know? Well, I mean, look, maybe at some point they'll kill someone off, but I don't see... You know what I mean? Nobody's expendable, I think, is the point with Dandadan. I mean, look, maybe you're right, but I don't know. For me, it doesn't really... I don't think Dandadan needs to follow conventions, you know? if you know, yeah. Yeah, this is it. I don't know that. I mean, I do think obviously Turbo Granny's gonna at some point give her powers back to Okarun. It's gonna happen, and it's gonna be fucking hype. But you know, I don't really think I don't think that they'll kill her off. She's too. I mean, cynically, if I'm gonna be cynical about it, they're not gonna kill off Turbo Granny because she's too iconic. She's like the iconic character, right? Like she's the mascot character in the show. They're not gonna kill her off. They don't. I don't think that would be the case. But again, I don't know that this is the story to do that. You know, it doesn't really matter one way or the other. I enjoy it regardless. You know, like it doesn't need to be anything more than what it is. You know. But anyway, I think I'm going to tap out here. However, let's go over things relating to the channel. Video went out over the weekend, guys. The Freyrim video, if you guys get a chance, or if you haven't seen it, go watch it. You know, I enjoyed making it. I enjoyed premiering it with you guys as well. Honestly, that's one of my favorite things is being able to kind of do the premiere for the content. Just generally speaking, I enjoy that. It's very you know, it's a nice moment. I think it's a really nice moment for me to be able to just kind of like share the work with everybody, right? Yeah. So that's nice. I always enjoy doing that. Regarding more content, I am working on stuff. I'm always working on stuff. I'm trying to make sure it's not 3 months until the next piece of content. All right, that's trying my best to make sure that's not the case. I know that it's been a minute since we did anything last time, since the Space Globalist arc retold, but that video took it out of me, you know. Also, I've been like, you know, January is not a great time for content anyway, right? However, yeah, let's just stay on that. Got some other stuff going on as well. More Dandadan stuff will be on the way too. Working on it. You know, it's always been worked on in the background. I'm trying to space stuff out between here and season 3. So I don't want to kind of like, you know what I mean? Friday streams back on. Yes, exactly. Yes, on Twitch. You can follow me on Twitch. It's in the description. I don't know what I'm going to be playing yet, but I'm sure it'll be great. We finished Resident Evil last time. I know that there's a second channel that I have. I know I have a second channel. I've just not uploaded anything there yet. Maybe I'll splice together the whole RE9 stream and slap it up there. We'll see. We'll see. Probably I'll do that. But you know, I'm you know what I mean? Like honestly, like dealing with one channel is too much for me sometimes. Like you know what I mean? Sometimes you just wanna fucking crawl under the desk and never come back out. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Like but like I love doing all of this, and for me being able to make content and share it with people, in parts, yeah, no, you're right. You're probably right. I love being able to make content, and I love being able to share content with people. It is genuinely one of the most rewarding things that I've ever had the privilege of doing. But like, there are some grinds. There are some grinds about this that are like outside of my scope of management at times. Like you're constantly kind of like yeah, you look at numbers and analytics and stuff that you can't control. You know what the problem is? The problem is that my first video did too well. Like my first Dandadan video did too well for me, so I didn't get the time to learn. I'm not complaining about it, but it means that landing on like a video that's successful straight away is kind of a bad thing, because you don't learn to kind of like what a normal video should look like, content like views wise and stuff like that. So you kind of go, oh, I'm kind of chasing that high again, but it's like you only got there because you didn't give a fuck about what the views were. You know what I mean? My lobster stupidly. No, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. So sometimes it's like when you release a piece of content, you sit and you obsess over the statistics, and you just like fucking stop thinking about it, you know? Or people like chase fucking trends and stuff. I don't have it in me to chase a trend, dude. I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. Like, I don't know. I think I might just upload weird stuff. I might just do some weird stuff and upload that. Fuck it. See what happens. Just do some strange stuff. I do love Dandadan content though, man. I can't lie. You know that period of time when season 2 was on? When season 2 was being released, I was so on it. It was like fucking video on video on video, right? I was so inspired, man. You know? I love that shit. It's so good. Oh well. Anyway, guys. 2027, here we come. We just need to keep running until 2027, guys. I know you guys are with me here, alright? I know you guys are with me. Okay? But, look at all my collection up there. It looks so good. Look. Can you see it? Look at it. Look it. Look it, ma. Look, Spy Kids 3D. Spy Kids 3D, guys. Thanks. I do have neat stuff. Some of it is even gifted, guys. Some of it is even gifted. Like that Turbo Granny. And this Vamnola. And this Safety's on Rookie design. Also, that poster over there. And also this thing. You can't really see it because of the light. Look. That's the moment that Momo ISA fell in love. How cute is that? Oh, is it you? Is it you, the bane of my life? Come here. Come on. Come say bye to everybody. Where are you going? What are you doing? You don't want to say bye? Form. What can I say? Where's Skycam? Where's Skycam? Skycam? I don't know if it'll work. No, it won't work. Come on, man. Skycam. Skycam. Sky. It won't work. There you go. Look at her. Look, there you are. Oh, what are you doing? That's enough. No more Skycam for you. Honestly. 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 Oh look, it's me again. No, you can go. Cool. What are you doing? You gonna say bye? You got a message for the people? Okay, that'll do. Right then, guys. Mike Soren. Yeah. Right, guys. I'm out of here. So, good chapter. I'll catch you next week. I've got something fun that I'm gonna do next week that's Dandadan related. I look forward to it. And that's that. No, thank you for being here, guys. What is it? You know what? Next week, what I'll do, I'll tell you what. Next week, what I'll do is I'll get Sky in here. I'll slap on some videos of birds, and she'll be very invested in what's happening on there while having Skycam directed at her. How about that? All right, catch you guys. Bye.